This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's talk about Glide Record. Okay, so ServiceNow platform is going to providing a number of Glide APIs. Okay, so what is the importance of each Glide API? So what are the APIs are running from client side? What are the APIs are running from server side? Okay, what are the importance of each Glide API? ServiceNow instance by default providing so many APIs, but we are not using all APIs. 99% we're using only important APIs. Okay, so today let's talk about Glide Record. So you can follow the agenda. So now I'm going to demonstrate what is the Glide API overview and the types of Glide APIs, Glide Record and usage, Glide Record architecture, and what is the API mapping and the different Glide methods. We have so many Glide methods are there. What is the importance of each method? And so we can practice with each method one by one. First of all, you would like to know what is Glide API. ServiceNow developer very often using Glide APIs in ServiceNow platform to change the default behavior of the application and to do customizing existing functionality. Okay, some activities we are unable to perform through out of the box functionality or out of the box features. Some activities we are unable to perform through out of the box. What is the mean by out of the box? Drag and drop, right? Okay, we have so many predefined functionality are implemented by default in the instance. Some activities we can't do it with this all out of the box features. That moment we can go for scripting or development. So what is the Glide API? So Glide APIs are like very often using ServiceNow platform to existing application and to do a lot of complexity kind of validations. Glide classes are providing more flexibility to interacting with service application to scripting. Some activities we do with only out of the box, but with scripting, so we can do every activity. But scripting should be involved into the development part. So using by Glide APIs, we can perform some database operation instead of writing or executing any SQL queries and SQL statements. Already we know ServiceNow platform is a cloud-based ITSM tool, which is not aligned to executing any SQL statements. But alternative we can do with Glide API. So each API contains a lot of methods and each method performs different operations in ServiceNow applications. Okay, let's move on types of Glide APIs. It's the most important question in interview also. How many types of Glide APIs? Tell me 4 to 5 important APIs which are very frequently used in ServiceNow. So some APIs are running client side, some APIs are running server side. How can you differentiate which will be running client side, which will be running the server side? So when you can implement the practically that may be client script or business rule, that moment we can elaborate more into it. First of all, we need to understand how many types of APIs are available in ServiceNow platform, like Glide Form, Glide User, Glide Ajax, Glide Dialog Window, Glide List, and Glide Menu. These all Glide APIs are executing from client side. Client side nothing but within browser. What about server side? Glide Record, Glide System, Glide Date, Date and Time, and Glide Aggregation, Glide Element. These all APIs are executing from server. Some APIs are executing from server side. Okay, at least you should remember 5 to 6 APIs very important, which are very frequent using in ServiceNow instance. Okay, in that, first of all, we are going to talking about Glide Record. what is glide record and importance of it, where we can use glide record in the ServiceNow platform. Glide record is it's the most important and a common API and very frequently using a ServiceNow platform. Glide record is a special Java class. It's a native JavaScript class and mainly running from server side. So blindly you can remember it. Glide record will be executing from server side means instead of executing any SQL statements and while performing any operations into database, so that moment we have to use glide record. Okay, so I don't want to execute any SQL statements because ServiceNow platform cannot support. Glide record is used to perform CRUD operations. CRUD nothing but create, read, update, and delete. Database operation can be indicating it's nothing but it's a CRUD operation. So while performing any CRUD operation in ServiceNow table, so we have to use glide record API. This API handle both rows and columns. I can show you practically in underlining database. In every ServiceNow platform, directly it's a very important point we need to remember. So in ServiceNow platform, directly we can't interact with the database to perform any CRUD operation, but we can do it alternatively with glide record. So instead of that SQL statements, so we can directly use glide record and we can perform the some operations. And coming to the next one, note, always we need to test the queries on non-production instance. It's very important thing you should remember while executing any server-side scripting in background script application. Don't execute any code snippet directly into ServiceNow instance. It's not recommended. Don't execute any like a code snippet into production environment. Okay, before while executing any like glide record queries and glide record API into background application, first of all that script need to be executed in non-production instance. So once everything is working fine, then only we can take the same code and execute it to production. Okay, and let me cover the remaining points. So glide record is the most common API. It's mainly running from server side and use it to generate SQL queries and executing SQL statements. And glide record is mainly used to perform only CRUD operation. So when you want to create, read, update, delete the records in ServiceNow table, so we have to use glide record. So we want to create the record to scripting. So create, if you want to update the record, like a read and update nothing but write and delete. So when you want to perform CRUD operation service no instance scripting, so we have to use glide record API. And next one is coming to glide record architecture. Instead of asking SQL queries, we can use JavaScript. For example, it's a one service application. Let's consider it's a incident application. Our data is already stored into MySQL database. So some customers are trying to get some records from like a database. For example, like my database, we have so many tables: incident table, problem table, change, and etc. When you want to get some table records from table like a database, how you can pass the query? What is the query we need to pass? Select star from table, we have to pass the table name. These kind of SQL queries we can't execute in ServiceNow platform indirectly the database. But alternatively, we can do it. So we can't execute any SQL statements. We'll be able to get the data through JavaScript. And even we are not using the complete JavaScript. We are using only glide APIs. All glide APIs are following the JavaScript standards. Okay. And next one is glide record API mapping. It's the most important to understand how the glide record architecture and what is the hierarchy of your glide record. When you want to perform any CRUD operations in any database and table, so you have to follow the this hierarchy of the code. First of all, you need to handle a table. You are going to performing create or read or delete and update operation which table, that table we have to define. And the second one we have to query. So which query you need to execute. And the third one, execute the query. And the fourth one, we have to add the next record. Finally, need to add the fields. Okay, I can execute and use all the methods, and I can show you practically what is the result of each method. Okay, and glide record methods. Almost 45 methods are there, 45 to 50 in between. So we are going to working with all methods which are available in glide record. Okay, and next one is coming to glide record exercises. Okay, let's start working with one by one.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, madam.
Yes, sir. In for ServiceNow coding, we means I think we don't know, we don't use JavaScript fully.
Yes,
Hello.
so ServiceNow APIs are following
Oh,
JavaScript standards, but we are not using complete JavaScript.
yes.
Maximum, we are using only Glide APIs. Meanwhile,
Glide
we need
APIs.
to learn what is the importance of each Glide API, how many methods are available in each API, what is the importance of the each method, when we can use, how to use each method in the respective application. Okay.
So Glide is a one kind of language like JavaScript or what it is actually.
Yes, in the documentation I have mentioned very clearly. Just a second. In the book I have mentioned very clearly, right? So Glide Record is most important common API, which is very frequently used in ServiceNow platform. Glide Record is a special Java class basically. Glide Record is a special Java class. It's a native JavaScript class. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this Glide Record API is binding from like a Java, but not complete Java. Native JavaScript class. Clear? Clear, Ronald?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let me take the paint. Example, here is the one application, service application. Example, you can take application that may be incident, problem, change, etc. Any table, any application you can take. So here is the database. Instant application. MySQL database. Okay, so you can take one example. It's a incident application, and customers have created so many records in incident table. Those all the records are stored into which table, like incident table. So that incident table has stored into which database. What is the database you're using in the organization? Okay, the database you can see over here. MySQL database, let us assume. Okay, and suppose a customer they want to get some records created by Fred Daddy. So created by Fred Daddy records I want to get. At that moment we have to pass some query, right? So when you pass the query to MySQL, okay, so we can't executing any SQL statements directly. So we can't executing any SQL statement directly. In this case, what I can do, I will use glide record API to performing CRUD operation. When customer try to get some records from database, that's nothing but a kind of operation. It's a read. Okay, so when customer try to read some records from the database or table, so they have to execute the query. But we can't executing any SQL statement directly into the table. Instead of that, I'm using glide record API. Okay, so these glide record APIs I'm going to executing into where guys, background script application. Okay, so before we start working with like these all methods one by one, first of all you need to install Atom software. In my case, already I have downloaded and installed into my system. And in your case, you have to download and install Atom software. Atom. So you can download the Atom software. It's the latest version. So why we need to download and install Atom software? It's a JavaScript editor, not a JavaScript only. It's a script editor. So you can be able to write any script and very easy to understand the syntax and any errors in your code very easily. Don't write the code directly into the background script or any ServiceNow platform. Executing each method in ServiceNow, first of all, you can write the code into Atom software. Then it's the same code we can copy and paste into respective application. First of all, everybody should download and install Atom script editor. Okay, let me open, just click on that Atom, and it is asking Atom script editor, right? 1.558.0, it's the latest version. Just you can download and install it. Okay, so installed your Atom script editor. We have so many pretty like free script editors are available. You can be able to install any script editor, any one script editor, doesn't matter, but Atom is the always best one. So once you are installed your Atom script editor into your instant like your system, then you can open the new file and new window to start your work, and go to file and take new file, and then we have to set the your script. So which script you are going to write here? I'm going to writing JavaScript. So then we can write the scripting and go to documentation. So very first method, how to print the value in ServiceNow instance. So we have to use gs.print or gs.info. gs.print or gs.info method we have to use to print the value in ServiceNow instance. So what I'm going to printing, welcome to Gautam IT Solutions. When you want to print anything in your script, so we have to use gs.print. Gs nothing but glide system. Print is the method. If you want to print something into JavaScript, code JavaScript, you have to use the console.log. But when you want to print something into ServiceNow instance, you have to use gs.print. That what you want to print, that will be defining it like in between parentheses. Okay, copy this code and navigate it to ServiceNow instance, and there is application called background, script background. This application I'm going to add as a favorite, very quickly access directly, and your code you can execute into background script. All server-side APIs you have to execute into background script only. Background script is one application. So while writing any code into the actual places, first you can be able to check in your background script. Run script, so you will get the output. Welcome to Gautam IT Solutions. Next one, and move to next method. So write a simple program that is add to two numbers. You tell me guys how to add numbers and how can you get the result? How to add two numbers? First of all, we have to declare the variable where equal to 10. A is the variable and equal to is assignment operator and is the value. So this 10 value is stored into variable A. Now let me take one more variable is variable B equal to 23. So B is the another variable, 23 is the value. That value is stored into variable B. And finally I can take variable C. Okay, so now I want to add numbers. So which numbers you want to add? I want to add the two numbers A plus B. And finally I want to get the result of A plus B. Okay, so to get the output, what we can do, just start print or info. You can be able to use any method. Just start print of. So which one we have to print, guys?
C.
Yes, we
C,
have
sir.
to print C value. It's a very simple program for better understanding. Already we explored more into Java's fundamentals, right? I have taken two variables. In one variable, I have added so 10, and second variable I have taken 23. So now I want to get the total value of the these two variables. Now let me take the code, copy, and go to background script and execute your code over here. The output is 33. The output is 33. So now we are going to
Uh,
executing all Glide APIs one
Srinath,
by one. Yeah, please.
one note, why we are not writing it directly in background script, the
Imars,
code?
first of all, we have to practice all APIs, and every APIs may contain a number of methods, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we need to practice with each method. What is the hierarchy of that each method and how these are executing? What is the result of it? So once you are done your practice on each API and all methods, then we can write the code into actual places. Okay. I'm not going to write in the code directly into actual places. Already I told you, right? Basically, we have to write the script in where in ServiceNow platform client script, business rules, script include your action, schedule jobs, events. These all the places very frequently we can write the code. If you want to write the code directly into these all the places, it's very difficult. Why? First of all, we need to understand what is the important of each API. So how each method is working. Okay. Once you understood each API and all methods, then very easy working with write the code into all the places. Is it clear, Himanshu?
Yeah, yes, Srinath. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's move to another example. Now let's start working with Glide API methods one by one. First of all, we have to follow the hierarchy. So while writing the Glide record. So this is the common hierarchy. Variable inc is the variable name. And so what is the global object of Glide record? It's a global object. So how we can define new Glide record? You are going to performing CRUD operation in which table? So through Glide record, we do only CRUD operation, creating, reading, updating, and deleting. When you want to perform only these four operations, Okay, then we need to use glide record API. How can you declare the this object variable inc equal to new glide record of the table we have to define? We are going to performing like a third operation into which table, that table we have to define. For example, let's navigate it to instance table and go to all. See, for example, I have opened incident table. Now I want to get some record from this table. That's why going to apply the some condition active equal to true and priority equal to critical. So when I click on that run, and almost I got 19 incidents. My condition met only 19 incidents. So in this case, just I'm using out of the box functionality. Same activity we do with scripting also. We will get the result of the scripting. So we have to write the scripting in ServiceNow. So first of all, we need to declare the variable name is inc equal to, you know, declare the object new glide record of the table name you have to define, and then so this table is stored into this variable. Now my table is stored here, right? And now I'm going to adding query. So how to add the query? So we have to use add query method, and then you need to pass the query. What is the query? Active is active. So this boolean value don't keep in any single double quotes. And I want to pass one more query also. I want to add one more query, and another query is priority equal to 1. Number also don't keep in single double quotes. In case if you want to add more queries, you can be able to add more queries also. So after execute that, after add that multiple queries, then immediately we need to execute the query. Without the query execution, so it is not going to communicate in the database. And the while loop is the very common for glide record, and I want to handle all records with our condition meet. The requirement is, so now I want to print in only these tickets with our condition meet. Active equal to true, priority equal to 1. First of all, we need to declare the object glide record. This table is stored into the variable. Now my table is here, right? So instant dot add query. So I want to handle that active equal to true and then priority equal to 1. So immediately we have to execute the query. Then I want to run a loop. So while loop inc dot next. Next is the one more method to handle the next record. So when you open the next while loop, so then we need to be follow the syntax and open and close the parenthesis and open and close the curly braces. And what is the record number? What you want to print? I want to print that those records number where your condition meet. Okay, gs dot print of inc number. Let me take this code and move to background script and execute it. Run. So total 19 tickets are meet your condition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So how many, like what are the tickets I'm going to printing? So where the active equal to 2, add t equal to 1. In case if you want to add the one more query, add query. So query is category equal to software. You'll be able to pass the parameter like this also. Okay. So category equal to software, priority equal to 1, active equal to 2. You can be able to pass multiple ways. And now let me take the same code and run this code. only 5 tickets are meet my condition. And now take the one more duplicate tab. 5 tickets are meet my condition, right? And the same condition I'm applying through list view. Go to all and the condition builder actually equal true and priority is critical. Category is, what is the category? Category is software and run. So only 5 tickets are met my condition, right? These all 5 tickets we can be able to see over here. What I said earlier, so this glide record API mainly used to perform only cloud operation, creating, reading, updating, and deleting. This moment just I'm reading the records where our condition meet. And so every time while executing this code, we have to follow the this hierarchy of the glide record. We need to declare the glide record API object, and this incident table is stored into this variable. And then I'm going to adding multiple queries. So I add multiple queries, right? So then immediately need to execute the query, and to handle and check the all the records, then you have to use while loop. And then I want to print the the record number. So wherever condition meet, this all instant numbers are met my condition. Okay, if you don't want to execute this particular statement, how can you keep in comment? So double forward slash. Again, take the same code and run, so get the same 15 records. Clear, guys? And next one. So what is the difference between add query and a query? So add query method used to adding some queries to your database, so our table. So what are the records? What is the criteria you want to get it? But if you want to execute the query in the table, we must be use query method. In case so 19 tickets are meet our condition, right? Now I'm not going to execute this query statement. Just I'm kept in comment. In this case, just you can notice what happened. Nothing happened. Why? Guys, why you are getting it empty? Anybody guess it? So while working with Glide Record API, always you must be follow the hierarchy of it. Otherwise, you will not get any result properly. So once again, let me repeat that glide record hierarchy. First of all, so we have to define glide record object, and then you are going to performing CRUD operations in which table. The table we need to define. The table was stored into this variable. After that, we need to add the query for your table. Act equal to true and a priority equal to 1. Sometimes you can be able to pass like this also. And act equal to true, priority equal to, don't take any space, and software category equal to software. Again, execute the same code, you will get the result, only 5 records. So this is the importance of add query, working with query method. Okay, guys, and next one. So let me write down same code. So variable and say equal to new glide record of any table you can define, depends on the client requirement. But this moment always we are working with only incident table. Incident. Okay, I'm not going to write like adding any queries directly. I'm going to execute the query, and directly I'm going to printing. Start print. Just start print inc dot number.
Srinivas, why we are using dot number there in the print method?
Yes, I'm going to printing a number, right? For example, Instant table is stored into this variable, right?
Yeah,
Now
correct.
I'm going to executing the query. Okay, so when you are not adding any query, so it will be printing all the records in specific table. First of all, let me finish this code. Let me execute this code into my background script. So in this case, I'm not adding any queries to my table, just using only query method. When you click on the run script, so you will printing all the tickets. Just a minute. And say that next method. So now I'm going to printing only the number wherever condition meet.
There is no parenthesis after next.
The next method.
The second inc equal to new glide record. Incident is a table.
Next.
And incident,
And next
sorry.
is the method, right?
Next is a method, Srinivas.
Yes, correct, correct. See, and one more thing, every API method is the case sensitive, guys. Suppose query, so query is the one method. Don't pass any capital Q. So that case sensitive, always you have to pass the only query. But unfortunately, if you pass any capital Q, system won't execute the code. Okay, please once again, like before going to execute the code, you can check multiple times. Just wait. System got stuck. Wait, guys. System is very slow. So guys, my instance is not responding. Might be it is in maintenance freeze mode. Okay. So reminding methods we can continue from tomorrow onwards, guys. Okay. Reminding methods we can cover in tomorrow. Okay. We have so many methods in glide record. I will be executing each method manually. Okay. I can show you practically.
So can you please send the document for practice?
Sorry.
Please send the document which you are showing now.
Yes, we can share the documentation. Okay. So you can share your mail IDs to admin department. They will share the documentation to everyone. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Just you can change to admin department. They will share documentation. Sometimes it is going to free state. What's happened now? Everything's working out. No. Okay, it's no problem. So you can start the practice on glide record and remaining matches I can cover tomorrow.